So for the experiment, we need to know the basic concepts of dual converter. So here we will go through it. So you must have studied in your BTech classes about the dual converter. So what is actually a dual converter? It is actually a 4-quadrant operation converter which performs in all the 4 quadrants. So it consists of two thyristors, two side thyristors actually. One thyristor is just anti-parallel of the first one, and vice versa. So suppose this thyristor voltage gives as is taken as V01, then this one is V02, and these two voltages are opposite to each other. See here, the voltage V01 is positive and the V02 is negative voltage, and the load is here motor load, RLE load, as we will go in we will see in experiment also, that is it is the DC motor load. So the DC motor load is actually a RLE load. So dual converter operation has two operation types. So first one is non-circulating current type operation, and second is circulating current type operation. So in non-circulating current type operation, only one of the thyristor set is switched on. So or the only one converter is switched on. So when converter 1 is switched on, then converter 2 is switched off at that time. So you can see also here in non-circulating current type dual converter, if one converter is in the on state, then other converter remains in the off state. So how it is done? It is done through the angle of alpha. So you know the formula of the average voltage in single phase cases and 3-phase cases also. So V01 is given as 2 Vm by pi cos alpha 1. Similarly, V02 is 2 Vm by pi cos alpha 2. In 3-phase, it will be 3 Vml by pi cos alpha 1 and 3 Vml by pi cos alpha 2. So here we will see how all the 4-quadrant operation is done. So this is the first quadrant. So in first quadrant, converter 1 is kept on and converter 2 is kept off. So the angle summation of angle alpha 1 and alpha 2 is equals to 180 degree. This is done for the no flow of, or the minimum flow of circulating current. In this case, actually no circulating current flows, because the name also suggests that non-circulating current type. Because when the first converter is switched on, then the second converter is switched off. So there is no chance of flowing the circulating current. How the circulating current flows? Circulating current flows due to the difference of the voltages. If both of the converters will be switched on simultaneously, then there must be some, in practical cases, there must be having some voltage difference between them, and that will lead to a flow of circulating current. So in this case, only one of the converter is switched on, so there is no chance of flowing the circulating current. Now see the quadrant operation. So in this case, only converter 1 is switched on. So alpha 1 is less than 90 degree. So it is in rectifier mode. So in rectifier mode, we will see that V01 is positive. So V0 is also positive, and EV is positive. Therefore, omega is also positive. So current is also positive. So torque is proportional to phi and I. So torque is positive because phi flux is also positive and current is also positive. So both are positive, then torque is also positive. So power equals to torque into Ia, T into I. Sorry, T omega. So both of them will be positive, so the power is positive. So it will be in forward motoring mode. In second quadrant, we will see. So in this way it will go. Sorry, in fourth quadrant. Actually, this goes in this way. So this will be in forward braking mode. So in forward braking mode, what will happen? So alpha is in, only converter 1 is on, while converter 2 is still kept off in this one also. So alpha 1 is greater than 90 degree. So V01 will be negative. So V0 is also negative. So since output voltage is negative, so the flux will get negative. However, the current is still the same. Current is still positive, but the torque becomes negative due to the presence of negative flux here. And so EV is also negative because EV is proportional to phi into omega. So phi is negative, so EV is also negative. So torque is negative and EV is also negative. So, but the rotation is positive, means it is rotating in the same direction as it was rotating in the first quadrant mode. So rotation is same, but the current is negative. So when the current is negative, so it will become so the energy is transmitted from the motor to the external source. So it will be in forward braking mode. So the energy of this motor can be dissipated into some load or can be given back to the source. Now this is the third quadrant. Actually, in our experimental setup, which we will see through it, we will go through. We have only these two modes, first and third mode. So in reverse motoring mode, this one was forward motoring mode, this one is forward braking mode, third one is reverse motoring mode. So in reverse motoring mode, converter 2 is switched on, converter 1 is kept off here. So alpha 2 is here less than 90 degrees, so it will be again in rectifier mode. So in this way we can see that when the voltage is V0, although V0 2 is positive but V0 is negative, and here so EB is also negative because rotational speed is negative. Rotation is in anti-clock or the reverse direction as was in first case. So current is negative, so torque is also negative. So both are in negative, so this will be also in motoring mode, but the direction of the rotation will be opposite to the first quadrant. So this one is known as reverse motoring mode. Now we have the second quadrant. So in second quadrant, converter 2 is on, converter 1 is still off as was in the third quadrant. So but here the angle alpha 2 is greater than 90 degree. So voltage is still negative, but V0 becomes, output voltage becomes positive. And how output voltage becomes positive? Because the direction of rotation and the flux, both of them are negative. So flux is proportional to phi omega. So sorry, EB is proportional to phi omega. So actually the EB becomes positive. So EB becomes positive and current is negative, but the output voltage is positive. You can see here as in direction it is shown. Torque is positive because flux and current both are negative. So here it will be in reverse braking mode. So the direction will be in the same as in the third quadrant, but the speed will it will transmit its energy to the load or the source. So this was all the 4 quadrant operation. Now the disadvantage, it gives slow speed response and the reversal of armature current is not smooth during switching operations of the converter. And see why the response is slow in this case, non-circulating current type mode. Here we must provide commutation delay type for the outgoing converter before the incoming converter is switched on to avoid the high circulating current during switching operations of the converter. What does this means? That here we must provide some delay time so that when the converter 1 is switching off, then we let it to switch off completely, then only converter 2 is switched on. Otherwise when the both of the converters will be switched on, means when this converter is not switched off completely and we will switch on the converter 2, then there will a higher circulating current will flow, which may damage our circuits. That's why we have a slow speed response here. Now the second mode is circulating current type dual converter mode. Here both the converters are switched on simultaneously. So the disadvantages here is there will be a circulating current between the two converters and hence responsible for additional power loss in the converters. Here we will have some circulating currents, and to minimize or to reduce the circulating current, we use this one, alpha 1 plus alpha 2 equals to 180 degree. How is this coming? So to reduce the circulating current, we make V01 equals to minus V02. And when this is expanded, we can see that cos alpha 1 plus cos alpha 2 equals to 0, and thus alpha 1 plus alpha 2 equals to 180 degree. So here it is written that even after satisfying the condition alpha 1 plus alpha 2 equals to 180 degree, still there is some circulating current due to the instantaneous voltage difference between the two converters. So see, there must be some instantaneous voltage, and that leads to the flow of circulating current, but that is minimized using this alpha 1 plus alpha 2 equals to 180 degree. To reduce this circulating current, we must connect a reactor between the converters as shown in the figure. So here we can see that to minimize the circulating current, the reactors are added, and this reactor can be divided also. In the left half side we write Ly2 and right hand side we write Ly2. This you must have studied in your syllabus, and you can also find it in the book also. So what is the advantage? It gives high speed response and the reversal of armature current is smooth during switching operations of the converter. Here also you can see just for a one quadrant only it is shown. So converter 1 is on, converter 2 is, both are on simultaneously. So alpha 1 is working at less than 90 degree and alpha 2 is greater than 90 degree. So when one is working in rectifier mode, then other works as inverter. So both works simultaneously. So V01 is plus, so V0 plus EB plus omega plus. So it is still forward motoring mode. So as the angle increases, alpha means alpha 1 increases, alpha 2 decreases, and simultaneously this both works here. Thank you.
Okay, for this is your complete setup of the experiment single phase dial converter. Okay, you can see here the load is motor loaded, okay, with spring load, okay, and this is your one CRO, and this is the single phase dual converter trainer kit. Okay, you can see here ammeter is giving the load current, and this is the motor giving the voltage of output voltage to the load from the converter. Okay, and this is the knob. If you want to rotate motor in clockwise direction, then you have to move this in clockwise direction, and if you want to rotate the motor in anti-clockwise direction, then you have to move this knob to anti-clockwise. Okay, as discussed in theory, okay, there is two mode. There is one switch, non-circulatory current mode and circulatory current mode. Okay, and these 2 points are alternated output for CRO. Okay, and this is the for output for lamp load, and this socket is for here to the DC motor. Okay, and you can see here there are so many test points. Okay, for positive bridges you have to measure reference to with ground, and TP1, TP2, TP3, TP4 are for fourth thyristor gate pulses, and for negative bridge these are the fourth thyristor, and TP5 and TP6 are zero cross detector waveform. Okay, so you can see here there is 2 points. One is power circuit on, another is control circuit on. At first you have to switch on the control circuit on and measure the test points waveform. Okay, and then you have to switch on the power circuit on and slowly increase this knob to clockwise direction, and at this time you can see your voltmeter reading and ammeter reading both are in positive. Okay, so this is the first quadrant operation of the dual converter, and when you rotate this knob to anti-clockwise, then at this time your both value voltage and current are negative. You can see there that there is operation of third quadrant of single phase dual converter. Okay, and you can see here there is 1 point dynamic braking. Okay, in normal condition we have to put this switch to downwards, and when we are applying dynamic braking by switching on this to upper direction, at this time you can see the bulb will glow. Okay, because of kinetic energy stored in the motor. Okay, now switch on the power supply. Now switch on the control circuit. Okay, and at this time measure the waveforms of the test points. Okay, if when we are measuring the test points of positive bridge, then we have to rotate this knob to clockwise direction. Okay, and when we are moving to the negative bridge, then this knob will be moved towards anti-clockwise. Okay, at this time your anti-clockwise LED is blink, and when this 0 is blink, that means the pointer is in 0 position. Okay, now switch on the control circuit and measure the firing process of negative bridge, that is ground and TP1. Okay, you can see in CRO these are the gate poles of ground and TP1 of negative bridge, and when I am connecting ground and TP2, you can see the waveform like this. Okay, these are the gate poles of the negative bridge thyristor and TP3. Okay, similarly TP4. Okay, now when I am rotating this knob to clockwise direction, okay, you can see now clockwise direction LEDs will blink. Okay, now I am test the positive bridge test points 1 and ground. You can see the waveform of these test points. Similarly test points 2, test point 3, test point 4. Okay, these are the gate poles of positive and negative bridges. Okay, now now at 0 position. Okay, these are the in non-circulating current mode. Okay, now switch on the power circuit on. Okay, and now I want to rotate in clockwise direction, so I move this knob to clockwise. Okay, in non-circulating current mode. Okay. Okay, now I want to measure the output waveform. Okay, so I am connecting here alternated output for CRO. Okay, now I want to rotate in clockwise direction. Okay, so now you can see here both the current value. Okay, now current is 0.1 ampere and voltage is 75 volt. Okay, and at this time your speed is 1158. Now you can see here your speed of this motor is 1158 and the output waveform is like this. Okay, in the non-circulating current mode. Okay, so now apply dynamic braking. Okay, you can see here I am moving this knob to upper direction. Okay, at this time all energy stored in kinetic form are dissipated in this bulb. Okay, and at this time your motor will stop instantly. Okay, next. Now rotate the motor in anti-clockwise direction. Okay, so you can see here now both the voltage and current value are in negative. Okay, so at this time your current is 0.2 ampere and voltage is 95 volts. Okay, at this time your motor speed is okay 1287. Okay, and the output voltage you can see. Okay, and in this time I am applying dynamic braking. Okay, you can see the motor will stop suddenly. Okay, again I am start the motor in normal condition. Okay, so in this way, by varying the knob in anti-clockwise direction or clockwise direction, you can take several readings of this experiment. Okay, so now start the experiment with circulating current mode. As discussed in theory, at when non-circulating current mode, at that time only one bridge is working, either positive or negative. Okay, so when I move to circulating current mode, at this time both the bridges are working simultaneously. Okay, so now start the experiment. Okay, now you can see now position is 0. Now I want to move the motor in clockwise with no load. Okay, you can see here motor is in no load condition. Okay, so you can see here both LED are glowing. That means both bridges are working in same time. One is inverting and another is converting mode. Okay, so you can see here the ammeter reading is positive. Okay, and the voltmeter reading also positive. Now voltmeter is showing 55 volts and ammeter showing 0.2 ampere. Okay, at this time your speed of the motor is 736 rpm. Okay, and I am applying dynamic braking. Okay, you can see Okay. So now rotate the motor in anti-clockwise direction. Okay. You can see here now both the voltmeter and ammeter readings are in negative. Okay. Now ammeter reading is minus 0.2 ampere and voltage is minus 55 volt. Okay. At this time your speed is 753 rpm. Okay. In this way, by varying the position of the knob, you can take several readings of this experiment. Okay. Now apply some loads to the motor. Okay. Now I am rotating this in clockwise direction. Okay. Now you can see here, now applying W1 is 600 grams and W2 is 400 grams. That W2 is 200 grams. Okay. And W1 is 550 grams. Okay. At this time your speed of the motor is 270 rpm and voltage 30 volts and current is 0.5 ampere. Okay. So now rotate in anti-clockwise direction. Okay. At this time, okay, load is same. One is 550 grams and another is 200 grams. Okay. And the load is, and the speed of the motor is 479 rpm and the voltmeter reading is minus 50 volt and ammeter is minus 0.5 ampere. Okay. In this way you can take several readings with load. Okay.